Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Coming up, some new knives from APOC Survival sent to me by APOC. We're going to do a all-access knife giveaway of this Dirk Pinkerton designed Shield and Gambit. And then Dirk Pinkerton himself will be here with us, not only to help us give this away, but to talk about new models he has coming up. He has sent some to me. I know he sent some to Dave, and I'm sure a couple of others, and we are loving them. They are awesome. So I can't wait to show those off and talk with Dirk about them. We'll have him for about an hour here. And so get your questions ready for knife designer and custom knife maker, Dirk Pinkerton. I'm sure you probably own one of his knives. He's one of the most prolific designers, if not one of my favorites out there. Marco, nice to have you here, sir. Evening, Bob, Jim and Junkies, he says. Good evening to you, sir. Ground Fog. Pleasure having you, Ground Fog. How you doing there? Carino1 says, greetings, Jim, Bob, and fellow junkies. Carino1, nice to have you here. All week I've been carrying the Kubi Wolverine. Its diminutive stature would most certainly underwhelm Bob, I'm afraid. No, I like some small knives. I do like some small knives, especially if they're wicked. OG Blade Reviews, will be great to see Dirk join you. Evening to all Knife Junkies. Dave, always a pleasure to have you here, sir. Been loving your videos and pictures this week, especially. Matt Lamana, nice to have you here, Matt. Happy Thursday Night Knives, Bob, Jim, and Junkies all. Welcome aboard, Mr. Pinkerton. Mr. Pinkerton. Trent Costello, nice to have you here. Dirk knife for the win, he says. And Trent likes the big knives. I got a big Dirk Pinkerton right here. I guess my biggest right here on the knife cam. This is the Razorback double edge, so beautiful. Inspired by both the Conjar and the Hell's Bells. As Dirk would let you know. Craig Vincent, nice to have you here. Hola, Junkolas. Nice to have you here, man. Always a pleasure to have Craig. And Doug. Doug, how you doing, sir? Not ever far from me. Thank you, man. Doug Bowl says, hi, Bob, Jim, and everyone present. Good to have you here, Doug. James Hart, nice to have you here, James. Evening, all. Everyone sharp, rust-free, and well-oiled. I indeed am well-oiled like a bronzed god. Just kidding, I am not. Pete Davidson, nice to have you here, Pete. G'day, blokes. Been a while since I've been able to catch a live show, and what a treat, the mighty Mr. Dirk Pinkerton. No kidding. Not only is he a great designer, he's a great guy and knife maker. Not just a designer. He makes them with his hands, too, like this. A perfect knife. Dante Farnioli, good to have you here, sir. Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you, sir. Sword XXXY, good day, Bob, Jim, fellow junkies, and to the icon, Mr. Dirk Pinkerton. Dirk will be joining us about 15 minutes. So I gotta talk fast, get these comments in, and I want to do a knife check early tonight, a pocket check. Cat Scratch, good to have you here, Cat Scratch. Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you and your cute little kitty. Jason Cosby, nice to have you here, Jason. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and everyone. A fine evening to you, Mr. Cosby. Adrian Fighter 35, a gentleman junkie. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Hope everyone is doing great this evening. I'm doing great, Adrian. I hope you're doing well, too. Terminator Joe, good to have you here, Terminator. Hey, fellow junkies. Hello to you in your creepy mask. Benedict Odie. Good to have you here, Benedict, the merch czar for Bob Terzuola et al. Nice to have you with us. Will be another gentleman junkie. Evening, Bob, Jim, and junkies. Will, good to have you. Mimo, have you changed your name? I recognize your avatar, but it seems you've changed your name. Mimo, it doesn't matter. Good to have you here with us. He says good evening. Sean Clark also says good evening, Bob and junkies. And I say to you, Mr. Clark, good evening, sir. Angry Tom's next door, hat next door. Hello, everyone. Hello to you, Angry Tom. Good to have a lot of the familiar faces or names with us. Speaking of faces, if you see me at Blade Show, come up and introduce yourself. Never Enough Knives 007. Happy Thursday, junkies. My favorite day of the week. It's the beginning of the weekend, and I get to hang out with you guys and gals. Mike Link Music. Nice to have you here, Mike. I love Thursday Night Knives so much and look forward to seeing it every week. Thank you, man. That puts wind in my sails. That a few days ago, my wife threatened to leave me if I didn't stop asking her every day if it was Thursday yet. Ah, Mike, Thank you, man. I love that. Yeah, me too. Let my hair down, my considerable locks. I let them down on Thursday night, and we can just hang out and talk. Canary SK is beating me to the punch with the hashtag knife. That's right. We're giving this away tonight. It is the Shielden Gambit, designed by Dirk. This one is made by Dirk by his very own hands, but he designs so many knives, and this is one of them. And actually a little different from some of his other offerings. And I really like this. This is not the one I'm giving away. The one I'm giving away tonight is brand new in the pouch, given to me by Dave of OG Blade Reviews to give to you. So he's giving it to you through me, and Dirk will be the one to spin the wheel. This is my Gambit, and it lives on my dresser. So it gets a lot of action. You can see a little bit of at certain angles, you can see that it's done a lot of duty here. So great knife is the Gambit. And I'm sorry, I just missed who was up there, but Anthony Kitchen, nice to have you here, Anthony. Hey, Bob, thank you for all the great information, and have a great evening. Thank you to you, Anthony. Oh, Jesse. Okay, Jesse, good evening to you, sir. Glad to have you here with us, Jesse. Hashtag knife in the comments will potentially get you this knife in this all-access knife giveaway. You say, why do you call it an all-access knife giveaway? Because on the third Thursday of every month, we do a special, extra special knife giveaway for our gentleman junkies, our high-tier support on Patreon, and we give away something a little extra special. And then we also do these all-access giveaways as well. So this is for one of you out there. Split and Slices, nice to have you here, Byron. Howdy, Bob, Jim and Junkies, Thursday Night Knives. Thanks for the OGK sub-collection midweek. That's the Off-Grid Knives sub-collection midweek supplemental, one of my favorite brands. Me too. And it was with the new Stinger XL drop point that I've been carrying like mad that inspired me to make that. Excuse me, Life's a Dirk. Well, I think it's very interesting that Dirk Pinkerton, a celebrated knife maker and knife designer's first name is Dirk, right? Like the big knife. I think that's pretty cool. It'd be like, well, it'd be like him being called Bowie or something else. Will B says, is Dirk also a native Ohioan? I thought I remembered something about him living in Columbus at some point. He's not currently, but you know, I'm not sure. I can't remember this. We will ask fellow Ohioan. Donald Fry, even though I don't live there anymore, I'm an Ohio boy at heart. Donald Fry, nice to have you here, Donald. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Looking forward to talking knives tonight. Me too. Always looking forward to that. Anthony Kitchen, that's a cool cleaver. I agree. It's a cool cleaver, and it's cleavers are traditionally not one of my favorite blade shapes, but this one's awesome because it has a bit of a point, and the point is in a place where you can actually push it into stuff. And then you have all these opening holes. You have a fuller, great action, drop shutty action, and a front flipper, which I engage with my finger. Jeff W. Dirk made a Persian many moons ago. It's one of my grails. Ooh, I'll be showing off my collection tonight. Maybe I have it. I don't think I do though. I have two upswept blades by him that he made, and then a couple from his. Here, I'll put this one out. Think the Urban Bowie is my only. Mimo says, I think the Urban Bowie is my only Pinkerton. That's a cool one. I do not own that one. Lone Star Dow Boy, good to have you here, Lone Star. If the wife complains about why you have so many knives or how many you need, just show her to her shoes, purses, and other accessories. You cannot beat that for a strategy. Now, my wife is pretty. The bags, she's got some cool bags, but that's not a big thing for her. But shoes, I think the shoes is every woman's weakness. Karen Slavin, looks like her weakness are knives. So it's good to have you here, Karen. Hello all, and hashtag knives. Excellent. So we have some people in the running already. Adrian Fighter 35, that knife on the table is beautiful. Mr. Pinkerton is awesome. Are you talking about this one right here? This is the Cave Bear. A beautiful one. I got this at Blade Show 2022. I spotted it across a crowded room, and made eyes at it. And I ran towards it. I'm like, there's no way I will let anyone else get their hands on this beautiful knife. I absolutely love this knife. Probably one of my favorite fixed blades of all time. Hero Sticks, nice to have you here, Hero. He says, as always, happy to be here. Best live show of the week. Well, thank you, sir. I accept. Fred, I saw Fred. Let's see. Jerry C, nice to have you here, Jerry. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Jerry, I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well too. Fred Ferbemeyer, nice to have you, Fred. Evening, Bob. Well, good evening to you, Fred. Matthew WW, or Matthew. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. We are well. I'm well. Have a nice day. I'll be seeing you in a week and a half. Good evening, Junkalos, he says. Well, good evening to you, man. Victor Blades, nice to have you here, Paisan. Hey, guys, how we all doing? Hello, Bob. I enjoyed the Off-Grid Knives show yesterday. Good luck to all the junkies. Well, I hope you're putting your hashtag knife in the comments below because that could get you that awesome knife in this random all-access giveaway. All right, I want to do this early tonight, so all that said, let us now get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
In my front right pocket today, I had the Les George VSEP, the George Knives VSEP. And I think from doing just a titch of research, actually, this came to me accidentally. I think that this one, which I bought on the secondary market and had the other spoon clip, this shipped with it, but I preferred, the owner shipped this one with it, but I removed the spoon clip. I do believe that this was a Monkey Edge. Is that right? Yeah, Monkey Edge exclusive without the frag. Can you believe that? Without the frag. Beautiful. Because I saw someone else post theirs and it looked exactly like this with that incredible stonewash. I love this knife. This is one of my all-time grails from early on. I remember when this first came out, people were calling it the Sebenza killer. Of course, it didn't kill the Sebenza, but it grew to have a life of its own. This is based on the Rockeye Custom, and it's been iterated and reiterated by ProTech in its automatic version. And I absolutely love that knife. The only thing I cut with it today, however, was pita bread. And let me tell you, that pita bread was wishing it was never baked. All right, next up in my front right pocket, right next to the VSEP, and in its pouch, was the Jack Wolf Knives Feel Good Jack. Love this thing. Beautiful sheep's foot blade with that straight edge, somewhat descending straight edge. So this is a very good cutter. You can see the tip is a little schmutzy. I gotta clean that off. I like to keep my Jack Wolf knives totally clean. They do get a lot of work. I do put, relatively speaking, I don't do tons of work with my knives, but they do get a fair amount of it because they're always on the spot and super sharp. I carry them quite frequently. Full hollow ground S90V blade and this dark matter blue carbon fiber. Just a gorgeous knife. I'm not sure if these are available. I know this was one of the first knives Jack Wolf Knives did that that was released once they had tons of dealers and were upping their numbers, and you could get this for a few months. I remember the first, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 Jack Wolf Knives models sold out like that, and that was it. But this was one of the ones where there was a surplus at a certain point, and you could actually buy them if you didn't get them on the drop. Next is the, since I knew tonight I was going to be showing off some Pinkertons and was hoping Dirk would come on the show, I had this on me today. This is a fixed blade, a custom made by the hands of Dirk himself. This is the Fire Ant triple-edged modified sheep's foot, triple-edged modified reverse Tonto, triple-edged modified Warncliffe. I don't know. For me, this is the least like a Warncliffe, but who cares? Who cares what it is? You hold it like this, yeah, it's like a Tonto. But just an awesome triple-edged knife. You got the edge on the front and then the top and on the bottom. This is a handmade custom fixed blade version of the knife that was a popular EDC model folder with Kaiser. This one has a dark blue and black paper micarta handle. What's that paper micarta called? It's called something. It's got a name. Can't remember what it is. Really nice, engaging jimping here so the thumb doesn't slide up on that edge. And just a great knife all around, self-defense or utility blade. And I got to say, I love the way, again, that blade edge angles downward. Because if you have it in standard grip like this and you do slashing with it, it will accelerate that cut almost like a recurve. And then if you have it in reverse grip, you have the point going right on target, so you can do, if you back fist with it, you'll be getting that point exactly where it needs to go to stab. However, that whole front edge is sharp, so you're in good shape pretty much no matter what you do with that beautiful knife. I got that at Blade Show 2024 or 2023. I think I got that. So hopefully I will be repeating the tradition of buying a custom-made Dirk Pinkerton this year. Next up, for emotional support, my ESK riding in my bag was the K-Bar Dog's Head knife. I've been carrying this one a lot in my bag, of course. I just love this knife. I think I like it better than the regular K-Bar. It's got a thicker guard. It's got asymmetrical quillions. This top thumb quillion is short enough to allow your thumb to come up on the back of the blade. And I think that's because they market this as more of a bushcraft K-Bar, more of a camping K-Bar. To me, it's just a better weapony K-Bar, but you know. And then the pommel is extra large. I think that's to accommodate hammering. It's sort of teardrop shape. And it also allows for a lanyard. Oops, I just stabbed my mat. Allows for a lanyard with that hole there at the tip of that teardrop. So that's what I had on me today. Let's see. Oh, I was going to say all American made. Well, this was American designed. But these beautiful knives, one by Les George, one by Ben Belkin, one by Dirk Pinkerton, and one by the guys at K-Bar. So what did you have on you? Let me know. We're going to bring Dirk in here in a minute or two. Hopefully he's joined us. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to put these down and let me know what you were carrying. Oh, look at the walk and talk. Just stupendous, and it sounds great too. It's funny. I know Jared Neve calls it acoustics, but I love the way knives sound. That's part of it. Hero Sticks, proud owner of a custom Dirk Pinkerton Smilodon. Those are so cool. Love that clinch pick you featured in your short yesterday. That clinch pick is awesome. Actually, that was ground by Dirk. He reground it because it had a very oblique grind, made it much cuttier, sharper, slicier. Jesse said the Matriarch today, he was carrying the Matriarch 2 from Spyderco, the CRKT Incindy. That's a cool one. I was just looking at that. And the CRKT Spew. I love that Spew, designed by Mr. Foltz. He's a great knife designer. I love his stuff, and an interesting dude. I'd like to have him on the show. As a matter of fact, I talked to him last year, and we haven't been able to connect yet, but I look forward to doing so. James Hart, nice to have you here, James. Well, it did not fit in my pocket, but on my belt was the old Gerber Armor Hide A425 knife. I'm unfamiliar with that. Got it back in the 80s. And today I used it to break down cardboard boxes. I think large knives are some of the best for, well, larger cardboard boxes because as you push, you just have all this blade to accommodate the length. Will be, I had my Heretic Pariah manual. That's a cool knife. ProTech TR4, very nice. Microtech Military 2 in Crew Carta. Now that's one that I'm just jealous of. ProTech Magic Whiskers 2. The Microtech Hera 2, the T-Kel Night Stalker CQC, excellent choice. Olight Baton 3, and Cool Hand G10 Bolt Pen. Very nice, man. That sounds awesome. That Heretic is interesting to me. So sorry, people. I just had a giant dinner. It was so good. My wife made pork carnitas and I made a killer salad. I'm very good at salads. Adrian Fighter 35 says, today's carry Cold Steel 8010 Light and Double Agent Bowie style serrated. Very nice. This one was sent to me by Rob Penna of Snaggletooth Tactical. Terminator Joe, my Espada XL, a Mayhem Midway limited edition, very cool, and 2 Vaqueros, plain and serrated edge. Terminator Joe, I like the cut of your jib, sir. This is done by K Mods, and his name is Hans Klein. Trotber I'm sorry. Hang on. Yo, first of all, yo to you, sir. Trotber, nice to have you here, but I want to get your last name. Emokadon. Wait, no. Emoticon. Oh, okay. Trotber Emoticon. I'm sorry, man. I always make fun of people who can't pronounce names, but I guess when you're under the gun, it's harder. But this was really nicely done for Rob Penna of Snaggletooth Tactical by Hans Klein of K-Mods, and he specializes in modifying Rat 1s. And he gave this one specially to Rob because Rob does some of the milling on his backspacers. So this thing is beautiful. First of all, you got Second Amendment theme on this show side of the blade, and that's all etched and then bronzed. And you can see like an M4 up next to a Randall knife there, 2A. And then on this side, you have his K-Mods logo in 1776. But this handle, and obviously you can see here on the clip, 44 Magnum, 7.62 by 8.85. That's weird. And a 38 special on this. And then you have a 38 special right here as a lanyard. But the coolest thing to me is the handle. The handle scales are made from ammo cans, special ammo cans. And in this case, I think it may have been a grenade can. I'm not sure, but really, really cool. Rob sent this to me to check out. I'm going to do a close-up video of it, and I got to send it back to him. I've had it for like 2.5 weeks already, so time for me to send it back. But if I were to fall in love with a Rat 2, it would be this one. I really, really like this, all the way down to the lanyard. I think it's really super cool. I'll leave this here. See what else everyone else has to say. Mimo says, carried a Spyderco Gale Bradley 2 in crew wear with micarta scales and a tailor's eye witness Barlow. Very nice. That's a British knife, right? I know that Patty carries those a lot. Let me see. I just want to see. No, okay. I was just checking the phone to see if I got a text. Okay, it looks like Dirk will be joining us in a second. Waylon, nice to have you here, Waylon. Hey, guys, he says. Well, hey to you, man. Hope everything is going well. Lone Star says, today, Cold Steel Mayhem and Civivi Altus. Nice choices. You know, I'm a Civivi fan as well as a Cold Steel fan. Ira Hayes, wow, these Pinkerton blades are beautiful. I love these double edges. Ira, you're singing my tune, sir. I, too, love the double edges. Something about double edge on a curved blade is super cool. Mimo says, rich light. Thank you. That's what it is. Rich light equals paper micarta. Yeah, so the fire ant here has rich light handles. Oh, so nice. Grippy, but smooth and comfortable. Angry Tom says, today I have my Seiko Patty. Oh, nice. Automatic. I had my Finch Nocturnal, my rustic heirloom hitchhiker wallet, and my black case sodbuster with a case knife slip and a black Zippo with a torch insert. Oh, sweet. Angry Tom, I like it all the way from the Seiko. I have a mini Seiko collection. I got like, I have 5 Seikos and I love them. And that's not including my dad's Seiko that he gave me from the 80s that I have to bring to get repaired. And then he gave me one in the 80s from the 70s that I can't find, but it looks so 70s. It's such a cool watch, and I need to find it. And that was an automatic, and I had that when I was a kid. It blew my mind that just wearing it wound it. Jeff Cass, nice to have you here, Jeff. Spyderco PM2 and a Bastinelli Sin. Oh God, I love Bastinelli knives. They are some of my very, very favorites. His designs are cool. He's a great guy. And going to his booth at Blade Show is always an experience. It's always cool. It's big and beautifully set up, and there's always awesome stuff. David Nephilim Slayer, nice to have you here, David. I gave my Lancer and original military. Oh, your Lancer. Well, you're going to be speaking to the man that designed it. I love that design. Lancer fixed blade knife. Have a Knife Day says, my black Benchmade Adamas folder that has been VEF'd out. I just started following Tom Veff today. Tom Veff, one of his videos showed up in my feed, and I was like, subscribe to him immediately. I love his serrations. He seems like a cool dude too. OG Blade Review says, today's carry, ESK North Mountain Blade Ninja Tanto, 10.5-inch SLD Magic Sanmai. What a beautiful knife. What a beautiful knife that is. And yeah, I can see why that would be your ESK. Station 9, number 9, Crev Cur Fixie. Ooh, I want to get that. They just re-released that, or just came out with a new batch. And that one reminds me a little bit of the Roach Belly. ZT0203 in M4. Oh, so jealous. I like that knife. I want to get it. Maybe I'll get it at Blade Show. I don't know. I got some stuff to get at Blade Show. Pinkerton Ferrule Frame Lock. We're going to take a look at that shortly. What a great knife that is. Dave and I were just texting about that. Artisan Revel and Tenable Pinkerton Siafu. Oh, so cool. I love Dave's collection. What can I say? He's not a bad guy either. He's a great guy, and he's done so much for this channel and this show. My appreciation is endless, bottomless. Chicago 23, nice to have you here, Chicago. Got my Micro Jimbo in S15V. No kidding. I have a Micro Jimbo, and I really like it, and I hadn't carried it in a long time. And just the other day, I pulled it out and was playing with it. You know, I didn't carry it, but I was just fiddling with it. What a great little tiny knife that is. And in 15V, absolutely unstoppable. James Hart says, well, it only has a 4 1/4-inch blade, and I'm not surprised you've never heard of it. They did not stay on the market for long. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was, but I will. David Nephilim Slayer says, thanks to Mr. Pinkerton, the triple-edged grind on the Smilodon is artful and price was amazing. And the weight well rewarded. Oh, beautifully said, sir. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Smilodons, at least in my feed. I know Dave has one. I know that Ryan Atkinson, he's been showing his a lot recently. Man, they are cool. Pete Davidson says, been carrying a Victorinox fruit knife. Oh, by the way, the Smilodon was like a Pikal style knife before Pikal was cool. So he was ahead of the curve on that. Pete Davidson says, I've been carrying a Victorinox fruit knife, very nicely done, with a Tsukamaki style wrap for a few months now in a custom Kydex sheath and love it. Yeah, that's a good carry. I keep mine in my car. My Spydercos are feeling very lonely at the moment. So Pete, I have my Victorinox fruit knife with mine has a jute wrap, but I have a piece of Velcro on the custom Kydex sheath that I made for it. And then I have a piece of Velcro on the inside of my mid-car console. And so when things get tricky, what do we have here? That's not legal. Well, it is here, but I like the puffy eyes too. When I'm driving somewhere and I feel like, gee, I would hate it if someone reached in the car, I stick that to the Velcro. I could just pull it out and someone reaches in, starts choking me, just pop it in their arm. And then they're going to have to pull their arm out and that's going to fillet them. But I always think, do I need to do that? I could just hit them in the head with the hammer I keep. But still, anyway, I love the Victorinox fruit knife. Makes for a great self-defense knife. Mimo says, not the most discreet clip. Haha. Yeah, definitely not the most discreet. And then this hanging out too. Yeah. Well, let's see. Pete Davidson says that Rat 1 is gorgeous. I agree. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful knife. I want to show you a couple of knives real quick. I showed them off on the midweek supplemental, and I didn't put them in my show notes here today, but these are from Jeff Wright. Jeff is a patron, gentleman junkie, and also a knife maker, and he makes these awesome little self-defense knives. His company is called Failed Negotiation Knives, which I think is awesome. And he not only made these and sent them to me, which was really, really gracious, but also he makes this cool ambidextrous sheath that fits all of the knives except this one, which has a kind of a bigger wrap on it. But you can pop these in here, drop it in the pocket, and then boom. And the way they're angled is so perfect for back fist because you don't have to change your fist, and then you can just pop it right out, and that blade is going right in whatever you're thrusting at. And you look at it, it's a funny looking knife, right? So that angle is extreme, but then you get it in hand and punch a box a few times, and you realize, wow, this is a really great design. I love these. I think they're so cool. As a matter of fact, he sent me 2 of these, and I'm going to give one to my wife, and it will be her new running knife. I guess even though this is my favorite one with that cool wrap, I think I'll give her this one so that I can carry this one in the ambidextrous sheath. What do we have here? Let me see something here. Dirk is having tech issues. Oh, crap. All right, well, we'll see. I think they'll probably work on it for a minute, and hopefully these tech issues are resolved. I think I got it, he says. It probably will get resolved. Dirk and I have done a number of shows together, and he's come on this show before, so I'm sure it's just a matter of a few minutes and working stuff out. Doug Bolt says, I had the broken throwing tomahawk I was going to send to you repaired with a new hickory handle. Oh, cool. Then went to the throwing axe club for some practice. How cool, man. I think this whole throwing axe bar thing is just such a great trend, especially as we become a nation of pearl clutchers, to have a place where you can go drink a few beers, throw some axes. I love it. I love it. Okay. Craig Vincent says Cold Steel 3V AD10. Very nice. I'm going to put these away so I don't stab myself as we chit chat. M4 Swift. Very nice. I like the Swift 3. It looks really cool. And man, the spring looks outrageous. The Tie Light Chris. Excellent. Oh, I have something to show you if you like tie lights. The Frenzy 3.5. Oh, I want to get those. Maybe we'll get one at Blade. And Purple Haze Manganis, beautiful. Manganis Kaimano. The Rat 1.5 in Magna Cut, and the Kershaw Culpeper. I love the Culpeper. What a great kind of high number production slip joint that is. Awesome. Sorry, a little distracted there. Victor Blade says, rocking my new GEC number 86 Yellow Bone clip point in leather slip in my left pocket. I love the 86, though I don't have a single bladed version. And my brand new, most magnificent Null Knives Raider. That is beautiful. Oh man, Bob, what a knife. Victor, I love the look of the Raiden. Null Knives makes just some absolutely beautiful ones. I saw a Everyday City Carry video today of their new Vandal model. Looks very cool. It's kind of a clip point. Clark Henry, nice to have you here, Clark. Use my Cold Steel Master Hunter as a steak knife. Yes. While traveling on business this week. Also learned it cuts sandwiches. Excellent. I love, you got to use your pocket knives for food. You just got to. When you're out at a dinner, you're spending money on a steak. You don't want to use that saw. And I had to when I was in Richmond recently with my daughter. For a volleyball thing, we went out. I got a steak salad because I'm being good, or skinny legend, as my daughter calls me. And I forgot my knife upstairs because I couldn't have a knife on me all day because of the tournament. And then I left it upstairs, and we got a steak, and I had to with the nasty knife. So take it from me. Use your pocket knives. Angry Tom says, I knew you had a Seiko watches. That's why I let you know what I wore today. I have 8 Seiko watches, but I do not have a Grand Seiko. I do not either, but man, I would love to. I would love to have one. Turd Burglar, That's one I use in the car. That's a name I use in the car for bad drivers. Hashtag knife. Good to have you here, Mr. Burglar. First time I said that, I remember my daughters erupting in laughter. They thought that was so funny. Oh, I got a new Seiko, just so you know, somewhat recently. I got the new GMT from Seiko, and it's so cool. I think I wore it 2 weeks ago. Anyway, Seikos, love them. Split and slices. My carry today is my Off-Grid Knives Stinger XL V2 Blackout Drop Point. I think this is my favorite EDC folder, only behind the Cold Steel Recon 1, a fantastic slicey, large, heavy-duty, affordable folder. Yes, all of those great fit and finish on that knife, and the fact that it's the same spear point profile as the original Stinger, but full flat ground. Yeah, it is slicey as hell. And if you've seen people putting hashtag knife in the comment section, but you're only just joining us, you do that and you stand to win this. This is the Shieldin Gambit, designed by our guest who's just working out some tech issues and will be with us for a minute, Mr. Dirk Pinkerton. And so hashtag knife in the comment gets you to be put in the running to win this. We do a random number generator, and one of you guys or gals will win this. So put hashtag knife in the comments, one and all. Over under pull, good to have you here, over under. Always enjoy Thursday night with you guys. Thank you. Well, thank you, man. I love hearing that. You know, you can get through a whole week, almost a whole week, and on Thursday night, it's like, man, I just want to kick back, talk knives, be around some familiar names, if not familiar faces and familiar knives, and just kind of zone out and talk and listen and yeah, engage with knives. Mr. Pinkerton, how you doing, Dirk?
All right, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Well, thanks for fighting through your tech issues and getting on to see us.
Not a problem. Turned out to be just click the wrong button in one of the settings, so we're all squared away.
It's always like that. With your lighting tonight, you look like a Rembrandt painting.
Okay.
Nice. I need to work that out myself. So we have some knives here that Dirk sent me. Bobby Rains, good to have you here, sir. Bobby Rains makes incredible Bowie knives. Evening, everyone. Evening to you, sir. So I just want to show what Dirk sent me. And man, these are some of the coolest. I have my favorite of the bunch, and I'll pull that one out last. But these I've always been curious about. First one here is the Dash. This beautiful little Kiradashi by Concept. So this is the Concept Dash. In this case, it's in beautiful canvas micarta. And let me, there we go. I'm not so good at it with, it's 154 cm. Not so good at it with my right thumb due to my dexterity issues. But if I pinch it, I'll just stop right there. It opens really nicely. Beautiful knife, Kiradashi style. Utilitarian Japanese knife. And then tell us about this one, Dirk. This is new to the bunch.
Yeah, that's the we'll call it the large Dash. Basically, with the original Dash, everybody liked the idea, but it was just a little too small, so not everybody could open it comfortably with one hand. And they also wanted to be able to clip it to their pocket. I tried working with Concept to make a small pocket clip for it, and they weren't comfortable with what they came up with. They didn't think it was going to work well, so they just said, we'll keep it as is, and why don't you see if you can do something a little bit bigger to address the requests that people have been sending in. So that is the result. We have a flipper that works. I think that flipper works exceptionally well for a knife. Awesome. Add a little jimping, a little extra of real estate for the hand, and got your pocket clip, and there you go.
So this, here, let's put it in the knife cam, see if, with my cam. Gotcha. So here, let's look at it here. It's got a very interesting flipper tab. It's as you can see, it's like how do you describe that? How would you describe that? It's like a
I don't know.
horizontal flipper tab.
Yeah, I don't know how I would describe that. I actually lifted that straight off the inversion.
Oh, okay. So this
it-
comes from the inversion, which I have right here, and it has a similar sort of.
Yeah. So I tried to keep it a low profile. In this case, it acts as a little bit of a reminder that you got a blade down there. So it's a little bit of a stop, not quite a guard, but it's not really obtrusive, doesn't get in the way. So it still lets you use the knife effectively when it's open.
Yeah. It also gives you something to pull back on with your forefinger if you come up here onto this bottom jimping, which I love. I'm a big fan of this bottom jimping right there.
Yeah, I figured, I mean, the angle of the edge itself doesn't really put your finger in too much jeopardy if you're using the knife. However, you still want a little grip. I think if you do a little hard pressure cuts with it or something, you'd still like a little bit of traction instead of feeling bare metal on something like that. So yeah, I figured why not put them on the top and the bottom.
Yeah, and this one is actually large enough to consider as a, I'm always thinking this way just out of my personal interest, but this one you could almost use like this. Just make sure the thumb is there, and since you don't have an edge on this bottom part, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's even the small one is a deceptive little surprise for self-defense if that's all you got. I mean, you're basically trying to make room anyway with a small knife, so you're cutting and getting out of there. So that's enough to get a little surprise and at the very least make distance.
Surprise.
There you go.
Okay, so next, now this is a knife we've seen before because you loaned me. Dirk rules, says Dave. Yes, indeed. And now Dave has the knives I'm showing in different colorways, which is cool. It's been cool to see his videos and his pictures on Instagram because I've got the natural canvas micarta, and Dave's got the darker colors. And so this is the Siafu. And what I was going to say is you've seen this knife before because I had the custom version, the prototype that Dirk made by hand, and it had the Mexican blanket G Carta and an S60 V blade, I believe it was.
That is it.
Crazy blade steel. This is 154, I think.
No, that's Nitro V.
Nitro V. Okay. Oh, it's not. I don't think it's labeled on here.
Yeah,
okay. They don't do that.
Well, they will, but on this is a production sample, so they just didn't mark it.
Okay, so this is by Tenable Blades. And tell us about Tenable. This is my first Tenable knife.
Tenable is basically the economy line from Concept. So, what everybody else is doing, Concept decided to join the bandwagon and do the same thing. So you will see basically the whole same concept as other companies are doing. And they went with the tenable instead of untenable. This is a tenable situation. And the pricing is it's competitive with most other companies in their economy lines. You're looking at basically the same quality as the Premier line, just the lower level, if you will, materials. So
this knife is incredible. I mean, they did an awesome job on it, and this is my first tenable, as I mentioned, and it's so high quality. The handle feels so great in hand. I mean, I know that's your part and parcel of your design, but they also just did a great job putting this together.
Yeah, they did a really good job executing it. It's actually even a thinner blade stock and thinner handle material than I use on the custom.
Oh, nice.
So it even gives you that smaller package, easier to carry, lighter weight. So it'll allow you to neck carry, drop it in the pocket, belt, however you wish to do it.
So a great sheath. They did a really awesome job on this Kydex sheath.
That's actually my sheath.
Oh, you made this?
Yeah. So when they sent me the samples, they didn't have sheaths because they weren't sure how they wanted to do the sheath, if they wanted to do a fold over or a pancake. So I went ahead and made those for the production samples, and they went back and forth and finally settled they're going to go with that design, that style of
Awesome.
sheath. So
awesome, as they should. I think I think a pancake sheath just be too big. I've been dropping this in the pocket. That's how I've been carrying this the past few days since I've had it, just straight in the pocket. And now I'm going to figure out whether I want to discreet carry concept it or do it on a lanyard and then drop it in my pocket, or how I'm going to carry it ultimately. But it's been great just to drop right in the pocket. I feel like a pancake would make it like a third larger.
yeah.
But you're like a machine, because these grommets, you got 5 grommets in a row and they're all perfectly lined up and spaced.
Well, I don't know about perfect, but
I mean, as far as
I spend a lot of time trying to line them up.
I have an exacting eye, Dirk. I will. Hey, Jim, can you bring up that last comment, sir? So we're here with Dirk Pinkerton, and actually Dirk's going to help us give away this awesome knife that he designed, that Shieldin Knives made, and Dave gave to us. This one is mine, but you'll get a fresh one in its own pouch. Dirk, tell it. Oh, all you got to do is put hashtag knife in the comments, and we will be doing a drawing in a little while. Tell me a little bit about the what this design is about, what you intended this for.
So that goes back with the fire ant. So the fire ant and the Siafu are older designs that I've had for a while. The fire ant, as you see now, is actually bigger than it was intended to be. The fire ant was originally meant to be like a small 2-finger neck knife, keychain knife. Basically the same shape, but much smaller. And what happened was HTM Knives picked up the design, and Mike Manrose, who was one of the co-owners, he decided he wanted to make it a folder. So he made it a folder, and then he decided that it needed to be bigger, and he made a bigger folder. And then he said, can you make a bigger fixed blade? So we got the bigger fixed blade, and that's what's been in production, what everybody recognizes as the fire ant. So the original idea, the fire ant being a small, aggressive little ant, the Siafu, as you see it there, that's what it was meant to be. And the Siafu is an African army ant or driver ant, a little bit bigger, a little bit more aggressive, and that was why it was called the Siafu compared to the fire ant. So the roles are a little bit reversed now. So yeah. The fire ant's a little bit bigger. So just the way things play out.
I mean, this thing, yeah, this to me, great utility knife. I mean, this would be a one and done knife for most people. You could just carry this. It carries really easily. It's small and in effect, it's small and a great utilitarian design, but also, hey, American Father, good to have you here, sir. We're here with Dirk Pinkerton, talking about one of his new knives, the Tenable Siafu. You could use this as a slashing knife. I mean, to great effect. I mean, heaven forbid, of course.
Well,
yeah,
that's the idea, and that's kind of what where the name came from. Fire ant gives you a small little backup knife. Yeah, definitely mostly utility, but it was originally meant to be as a small utility backup, self-defense if you need it in a pinch. And the Siafu was meant to be a more all-arounder. You'd look at it and it leans in the utility direction, but obviously, as you know, with Mike Janich and everything, you're looking at a very effective self-defense blade in a small package.
Yes, indeed. Angelo, good to have you here. Craig Vincent said,
only one button away from success. Thanks, Craig.
An old scout tech I worked with always said you're only one button away from success. Yeah, and that one button was depressed, and here he is talking to us. So, Mike says, quote of the year so far, with your lighting tonight, you look like a Rembrandt painting. All right. I got quote of the year. Love it.
Well done.
Alex Kerber, nice to have you here. Alex, we're here with Dirk Pinkerton. Craig Vincent says, that's not a flipper tab. It's a revolutionary new tipper flab. Yeah.
I like that.
This is great. It works so well. And I guess it has to do with, I don't know, geometry. I always missed that class, but the way
geometry, physics,
yeah. I think I missed both of those classes, actually.
Trigonometry, I don't know, calculus.
The way it's in front of the pivot works great. Ghost Keeper, good to have you here, Ghost Keeper. My favorite designs by Dirk are the Escort. Oh, that's a great one. And the Main Street, another great one. I never had the Escort. And I always thought the Escort, it didn't seem to get as much notoriety as some of your other designs, but I always thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorites. It was my original all-around knife. It was meant to do everything. It was not meant to look aggressive. It was meant to look like a utility knife. But the way I designed it, it was meant to fill all those roles. So you could, as an escort, a true escort, you don't want that escort to necessarily take the limelight away from you. It's meant to be there when you need it, kind of fading in the background. And that's why that knife was meant to do that. And apparently it did it too well, because it never got the success that I'd hoped for. They did bring it back from the frame lock and did their clutch lock.
Oh yeah, that's Kaiser, right?
Yeah, Kaiser did that. It did okay with that, but they decided that they needed to go in another direction. They seem to be going with a very short shelf life on a lot of their designs. So unless you're hitting really big numbers in sales, they give you a couple of years and then they rotate you out, whether it's, unless you hit those big numbers. So
right. Split and Slices says, great decision to go taco sheath for direct drop, ulti or DCC clips, indeed, or belt loop for scout carry. Nice. Yeah, I could see the Split and Slices liking this one. And I'm going to show off this last one here. Oh, wait, before I do, is the Escort one you would ever consider creating under your own shingle? Or is that undoable because of licensing and all that stuff?
No, licensing is all free and clear now, so I can do with it as I wish. And yeah, I have thought about it. I've been playing with the design a little bit, and not really much I would want to change on it. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. I might be bringing that back.
That'd be cool. Matt Lamana says, every time I see that Razorback, I start thinking about living above my means. I like how you put that. Savage and beautiful. Yeah, it really, really is. And Dave has one, and his has more of a bayonet grind. So his double edge comes to about here, and then the jimping extends, I guess, for thumb placement there. Yeah. So, and then I've seen you do these a little bit shorter and fatter.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, good to have you here. I've been watching your videos a lot recently. I like what you do, sir. Hashtag knife, he says. And why does he say hashtag knife? Because he wants to win the Gambit. This is your only Shieldon design. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah. Shieldon reached out to me a while ago and wanted to do a design. And, I basically said, so, what do you want to do? What direction are you headed in? Because they had just got into the doing stuff under their own shingle as opposed to OEM. And they showed me a picture of a small little fixed blade cleaver I did a long time ago. And I said, we can do that. But, I said, are you sure you want to do that? The cleaver thing is kind of over. I don't know if that would be a wise choice. Said, no, we want to do it. So I did the design, got it functional, and what are you going to call it? And I said, well, I'm going to call it the Gambit because I told you it's a gamble, and I'm not sure it's going to do well. It's well made. The people that get it like it, but sales have been pretty flat.
Huh. You can never tell,
Yeah, and so that's why I called it the Gambit. I didn't really think it would be successful. I said you missed that time. You need to do something. Yeah.
Well, we have Dylan Mallory with us. Dylan, nice to have you here. He sends you a hearty hello. Also, before that, Jeff W. said his wife says next year he'll be able to go to Blade Show Atlanta, and your table will be the first one he goes to. Jeff W., are you Jeff
Awesome.
Wright? I was just showing off the failed negotiation knives by Jeff Wright, and I'm not sure if Jeff W. is the same as Jeff Wright. Let me know. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, is that knife available for purchase now? I think he's talking about the Tenable. When will this be available? The Siapu.
Do not have a definite date. They are working on sheets currently. They will be displayed at Blade Show. I don't know if they're going to be for sale yet. They're rushing to get the sheets done, so they may have them ready.
And then Jim says he thinks he might be talking about the giveaway knife. So are the Gambits also currently available?
They are available. Amazon is the best place to get them. Yeah, Shieldon, Gambit.
They do a great job.
Oh yeah, they make an awesome knife. They really do.
Yeah, this is one of the few cleaver knives I like. Pete Davidson says, Mr. Pinkerton, is there any chance of a fixed blade inversion? Also, excuse me, do you have any more blade designs for your broadhead variable series? Oh, since we're talking broadhead, I have all my Pinkertons out here. I think I have them all out here. So first one, he's talking about the inversion, and then I'll show off the. So here are 3 versions of the inversion. This is the one that you did with the ring and the titanium frame lock, and here's a flipper version. Well, they all have flippers. This is the liner lock version, and this was a prototype
from Shieldon.
What's that?
That's from Shieldon.
This is from Shieldon. Oh,
yeah,
man. Yeah, they did an awesome job. And then the Kaiser inversion. This is the first time we saw the inversion, and at least the first time most of us saw the inversion. And this knife blew my mind when I saw this. I didn't know what to think. And then when I understood it, I was like, I knew what to think. So any chance of a fixed blade version of this knife?
Well, there kind of exists one. I mean, it started life as the Smilodon, which is my original, well, not original, my original, we'll call it mass, made in quantity, Pakal style blade. So it was based on that, tweaked the handle, so it was more functional as a folder and a little more ambidextrous. Use it any way you want, almost any grip, and it's functional.
Yeah.
As far as an actual fixed blade direct setup on the inversion, I don't see why not. Yeah, it can be done. I can do it. Yeah, we'll do it.
I could see. Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, there's demand. Go for it. Oh man, I love this one. And you know what? I haven't carried this prototype in a long time because I consider it kind of a rare bird, and I'm very careful with it. Also, you mentioned Shane, how you doing, man? Hello, Bob. Hello, Dirk.
Hello,
Shane of Edgy American Blades. I was just talking with him on the phone moments ago. This right here is also a broadhead, and this a beautiful custom-made broadhead in Magna Cut. And a great thing about this knife is you can use it like a punch dagger, or you can use it, in reverse grip. This is my favorite way to hold it, is like this, just in a fist like this. And Kaiser has done a number of these, right? This is obviously a custom version, but
they did a warning and a claw, and it's actually they discontinued them. So
really, oh okay.
Yeah. So
those are pretty popular, I know.
They seem to have sold well, but apparently it was not the direction they wanted to go in. I don't know. So,
Dirk, are you an Ohioan?
Yes.
Okay. Not living in Ohio, but you are an Ohioan.
Yeah, born and raised. I left in 2008. Been in North Carolina since 2008.
Okay. Because our one of our friends, Will B, he's also an Ohio boy. I'm an Ohio boy, and he was like, I'm pretty sure Dirk. And then my mind was ticking back because I remember a lot of your connection with oh my gosh,
Daryl.
Daryl, yes, and he was an Ohio knife maker. So Todd Carr says, love my Escort in 20 CV. Carry it very often as well.
Yeah, that one turned out really nice with the 20 CV. They did a really good job on that. And as I said, I don't know what was not right about it. Why they decided they needed to discontinue it, because they still have the the drop bear.
Yeah, Ghost Keeper is saying most Kaiser fans I speak to like the Escort better than the drop bear. I do for sure. Now,
well, thank you. I appreciate that. They kept the drop bear. Basically same category of knife. And my understanding was that, I heard a lot of people preferred the Escort over the drop bear. But, what are you going to do?
I got to say, now I have nothing against the drop bear. I've never owned one, nor have I owned an Escort. But I always thought the drop bear is a little vanilla. And you're talking to a guy who loves vanilla, but still, like, I don't know, it didn't have the edge. And I don't mean it that way, not trying to pun, but it didn't have like an edginess to the design at all. The Escort to me has a slight militaristic feel to it. Something a little bit that conjures up more than just a drop point utility pocket knife, and that's compelling to me. So I don't know why, or that's just how I feel about it. Doug Bull says, Dirk, I may have missed the info on your fixed blade, but what metal is the Razorback? This one is, I know this one is an LMAX, but do you do them in all sorts of steels?
Yeah, pretty much whatever you want. I don't have a standard that I always use. I'll go through phases where, I feel like using 14C, or then I'll switch over to CPM 154, Magna Cut. I like playing with all of them.
This is Nitro V. Oh no, this is D2.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's an old D2 run.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this, by the way, I also have to mention that these grinds, hand ground hollow grinds, are perfect. And I've examined it and I've felt it, and that these are perfect. And when I had Sean Kendrick on the show a couple of years back now, but between vulgarities, that man talks like a Marine.
Yes, he does.
What a great dude, though, and
yeah, he's
an incredible knife maker. But he held you in such high esteem, your grinding skills, and
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. It's humbling. Sean is a underappreciated maker. His grinds, as he does primarily chisel ground and primarily zero edge, and I don't think there's anybody out there that can touch him when it comes to that. Nobody. I have yet to see anybody that does it as well as he does. Always perfect. Always a zero edge. There's never that little subtle, well, it's zero edge, and then you look and it's like, well, no, that's where I just polished the edge a little. You don't get that. It's zero edge, and it's perfect. And they are razor sharp.
Oh, love to have one of his knives. Desert Trance, nice to have you here, Desert. That's a sexy inversion in SLC. Wait, what's SLC? I usually loathe the inversion. What's an SLC? Well, that's good. That's some
love
good,
it or hate it.
good honesty. But it's also cool to know that you have something that you have something that maybe he didn't like. Probably this one, maybe the first one, and then this one comes along and changes the tune. I love these. I don't care what blade. I love these. Sean Smith, I love the Warning.
Oh,
which one is
very much? The Warning is it's another Warren Cliff. It's more of it's a longer blade. Got a little more of a swale to the spine, so you have a little more of a drop for your thumb to go into, and the handle is more squared off, more angular.
Did you do that for Black Hawk knives?
Mirco.
Meyerco. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the time, Meyerco took the warning, and shortly after that is when I started working on the Fire Ant and the Siafu, because of the warning.
Okay. Craig Vincent's laying down some dad puns here. He says, fixies are so popular now, a fixed version of that blade would truly be the inversion. I love it.
That is good.
All right, I want to talk about this last knife that you sent me, and to me, like just the one that made me swoon the hardest. And it's funny because we have Shane here, Edgy American Blade Works, and he was telling me about the efficacy of using the knife. Just, sometimes we talk about using the knife without the blade out, and this one is so comfortable without, when you hold it like this. If you were to use it in sort of a non-lethal version and say just crack someone to get their attention or something, this one would just be perfect. It fits so perfectly in hand. But really, this is the ferrule folder. And oh my God, I love this thing. This thing just melts in the hand. It is perfect ergonomically. And that blade is just so damn wicked. Tell me about this knife. Tell us about this knife and where it comes from.
Well, the ferrule is an offshoot of the Smilodon. I've had people order the Smilodon and tweak it here and there, various can you do this, can you do that? And as I was playing with some of the blade angles on the Smilodon, changing the grip a little bit, I had another knife, the Nomad, not the folder version, but fixed blade version that I'd been making recently. Different handle profile. And I started playing with that and noticing, I was like, this would feel really good as a reverse grip knife. And what I did was made the handle a little bit smaller, a little more rounded things off, a little less angle, and came up with the ferrule. And we started with the fixed blade, and OG has the prototype, and I just said, hey, can we do this can I make this into a folder? And we have the folder.
Yeah, OG has the fixed blade version too, right?
Yeah. He has the folder prototype and he has the fixed blade prototype.
Now his fixed blade, I was looking at a picture he posted today with this next to it, and the fixed blade version seems to be more of a, oh, by the way, Trance said this is bringing up some serious emotions.
I like that. That's good.
But I was noticing on Dave's fixed blade version, there's more of a, I don't know, maybe the point is less acute or something. It's a little more reverse tanto.
Yeah, it's a little more reverse tanto. So what I've been doing is, while that is still effective, after talking to Ryan and several other people that are well versed in using those blades, giving it a little more of a acute point as opposed to that angle makes it much more effective in penetrating, makes life a little easier.
Okay,
in
so
penetration.
Less like this, say like this Kaiser inversion, and more, yeah. And I know Ryan Atkinson, you know him on Instagram as Fieldworks. He's been on this show. He does a lot of training with the organic mediums, like swinging pigs from that kind of thing, like the actual live testing these kind of knives. And he does all sorts of really cool training from the looks of it and from what we talked about. And he's a professional bodyguard for some seriously some of the highest profile people in the world. So he has to rely on his tools in that way. And so to get his input on the tip and how that all works is pretty valuable.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's what you're going to start seeing. I won't completely abandon that angled tip because it's, I still think it's effective. So it's not, it will never be unavailable. You just would need to say, hey, give me that original tip.
Right. So Pete Davidson says or asks, given the current political climate, are there any American manufacturers that you would like to collaborate with?
Yeah, I would have no issue working with anyone. I have spoken to all of them off and on over the years. And how do I politely say this about American companies? I'll just put it bluntly: they're rude.
Oh, they're rude. In what
They,
way?
well, they either don't return emails or phone calls, or they totally ignore you when you try to talk to them. I've had that happen twice when I tried to set up meetings at Blade Show over the years, and
Really?
talk to somebody. Hey, I'm such and so. Want to talk to you about possibly doing a collaboration or something like that. Absolutely, stay here one moment. I'll introduce you to so and so. And so comes over and basically, hi Dirk, how you doing? Yeah, no, we're not interested. I mean, it's not even, hey, let's take a look. We're just not interested.
Wow.
I mean, it's and then I've had other companies, and these are all from name any American company. I've tried talking to them, and I was given a card, send me an email, we'll go over, we'll sort this out. Sounds good. Send them an email. Never got a reply. Never got a reply. Never got a reply. And then, interestingly enough, another person just randomly, like, I want to design knives, and he emailed this guy. Never met him before. No idea who it was. It was just a blind email. I want to design a knife for you, and they picked up his design. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm so good that they should be, but the fact that we had an introduction and he said, send me an email and we will work something out, we'll have a discussion. And I never got a discussion. That just kind of was one of those things where, I don't know if it's me, if I need to take a shower or something. But I have found most American companies to be rude. And I've never had that with any other company, any Chinese company I've worked with. Always polite, always immediately respond to questions, answers. Now, it doesn't necessarily always run smoothly once you get in the door. There's always some hiccups, but it's never a situation where you're being ignored.
Well, I mean, it's funny because, or ironic, because you've got a huge catalog of designs that have been successful in production, and lots of samples that you can show and that kind of thing. So I mean, like, you're a tried and true designer and successful, and people love your stuff. So it's just odd that you would be dismissed outright.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that I have, maybe it's the perception I've worked exclusively with Chinese companies. That could be it. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're also a custom knife maker making stuff by hand. Like, you're not just some dude sitting in a room drawing, which is fine too,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a mystery to me. So, after a while, I gave up on it, and I don't worry about it. If they want to work with me, they know where to find me, and nobody's calling, so I don't care. I've got people I'm working with, and even in this current environment, I'm going to continue working with them. It's not going to last forever, and things may be a little more expensive for a little while, but that's the nature of the thing.
Yeah. Jeff Cass says, can we talk about the new liner lock Pakal folder that you have for pre-order? I'm really excited about it.
Why, yes, we can. It is the OEM is going to be concept, and it will look basically, it will be the exact same thing as the frame lock. It'll have all the features, removable ring. It will not be that one. I thought I sent you the newer. Didn't I send you the newer G10 version? I thought I sent you the concept version.
No, I got this one, and I've got this one, and then the what do you call it? The older Kaiser.
Okay, yeah.
Does it look like this?
I mean, it looks identical to the frame lock, except it's a G10. So all the angles, everything about it will be identical.
Oh, cool. And a ring will be included with it?
Ring will be included, removable, pocket opener, thumb disc, ambidextrous pocket clip. Only difference, it's going to be a liner lock, and it will have the steel's going to be Nitro V, mainly because we could still do the 154 cm, but they have to bring it in from the United States, and they pay tariffs as well. So,
okay.
So they're trying to keep their costs down, doing it from both sides. So they can get Nitro V still pretty cheap. So we're going to do Nitro V, and then you will have, it's going to be G10 handle with frag pattern. So you'll have a black or a coyote brown. Those seem to be the two popular colors when I asked, what people were looking for. Didn't really have any other input on that, just those two colors. So that's what we're going with. And they're open. So all you have to do is go to the website, click on it, and this time through, it won't be a deposit. So the original one had a deposit. Then once it was available, then I reached out and got the final payment. This one is payment in full. As soon as it hits my hands, it gets shipped out.
What was I going to ask you? It's got the flipper tab. It's got the pocket opener. It's got the thumb disc. There's something else. Are they all satin, or do they come in a black blade, or?
It'll be a black blade or tumble.
Oh, sweet. James Hart says the reverse tanto reminds me of a Germanic seax or sax knife.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it does a bit. You're right.
Yeah, that's cool. I really like this one too. I know that since this is the oldest one, the one I've had for the longest. Actually, I got this in a trade from Dave. Back in the day, I think he had like 3 of them, like he does with most cool knives, and he was able to spare one. But yeah, this one gets very little carry. This is the one that gets the most carry for sure. I carry this one a lot. But then I have all these others. Another one. Wait, I'm sorry. Waylon says most of them see talent as a threat. Yeah, most people do in most industries, actually. Jim, can you bring up the comment that was there before Waylon? Desert Trance says Turner CNC and Pinkerton would be epic. Yeah, no kidding. Hope those boys don't have the same lack of manners. Yeah.
Well, actually, I did talk to them several years ago, and we were going to do, they were going to do some OEM for me, actually. And it happened right at the time when they were basically starting to do their own line. And they had to basically opt out if they didn't have anything in the works at the time. Any new work was being set aside. So we never finished that deal. And I haven't gone back to them because, they said they were working on their own stuff. So I figured that's where they were going to stay. So I don't know. I may talk to them, see them at Blade. We may have a discussion, see if they're interested in doing anything.
Cool. All right. I have 2 questions for you, and then I want to do the giveaway. We have 63 people who are entered, probably more at this point because Jim sent me this note about 13 minutes ago. First question is from Jeff Wright. He wants to know if there's a timeline for the Ferrell folder.
If everything goes to plan, I'm hoping to get that run started towards the end of the year. I still have some tweaks I need to make on it. We're doing a pocket opener attachment design specifically for that one. I originally had the thumb disc the same size as the one on the inversion. And they went ahead and made it a bigger one because they had that thumb disc in stock, so it was easier for them to do it. I didn't stress the importance of maintaining that because of what I wanted to do is just drop in a pocket opener that I have instead of having them make one. So now we're in a position where they have to make one. So had I just told them to make one to begin with, we would have been done by now. So
it's the same pocket disc, same thumb disc as the Kami, I think.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Which I actually like that thumb disc. I really do. I think it works well. We just got to get them to be able to make the pocket opener to drop in there. And if everything is works right, I should have those at Blade Show. They're going to drop them off at Blade Show.
Sweet.
So
Knives and Pizza said, I told myself I would never buy a Chinese knife until I got a Kunwu. They are pretty dope. Sweet.
Yeah. It's the one thing that I hate to say about where we are as a country when it comes to how we view things. I learned this a long time ago working with Meyerco. Mike Manrose, he had done a lot of stuff in China in other areas besides knives. And he said, basically, the reason China got such a bad rap is it wasn't that they were purposefully making junk knives. It was that you would have an American company go over there and say, here's this knife, or here's whatever the product is. I need you to make it, and I can only spend $2 per unit or whatever. And that's all they gave them. So what are you going to do if you're the manufacturer? If you only have parameters of those 2 parameters, you make the cheapest thing you can.
Yeah.
And what happened is early 2000s, there was a slow process where a lot of the Chinese companies and some of the American people that have worked with them were trying to say they can do better work. They really can. You just got to let them do the work and tell them what you want. And that started happening. Meyerco started working on that, but they were still trying to stay at a very low price level. So you still weren't getting the quality that you're seeing now. And then Kaiser was one of the first ones that came along and said, screw this. We're going to show you what we can do, and we're going to do it at a good price. And that's where you really started seeing, Chinese companies demonstrating what they're capable of.
All right. We got 100 people watching. We have 73 entries. #knife in the comment gets you in the hopper to win this Dirk Pinkerton designed shield and gambit. So everyone put in #knife in the comments, and this knife could be yours. It'd be really cool to see an even cool 100 people in the hopper for this, on the wheel of destiny for this. This is not the one you will get. You will get one that's unused. This is mine. The one that you will get was donated very generously to us by Dave of OG Blade Reviews, who's got just the most epic collection ever. And it's brand new in pouch. And I'm just showing you this one so I don't have to pull the brand new one out. But put #knife, and I want you to win. I want each and every one of you to win, but obviously you can't. So I want you all to put it in there. Craig Vincent says, must be a clerical error. I didn't get one either, Dirk. Now, there's still a chance. Ray Herman, have you done any knives for Cold Steel?
No, I have not. When I actually tried to talk to Lynn back in several years ago, he stopped by my table and was looking at one of my few Tontos that I've had made in my life. It was a very interesting non-conversation. He stopped by the table. He saw the knife, picked it up, and spent about 5 minutes looking at it very intently. And I tried to carry on a conversation with him. Introduced myself, Lynn, nice to meet you. I'm Dirk Pinkerton. And he looks up at me and doesn't say anything, continues to look at the knife. And I was like, yeah, that's I don't do a lot of Tontos. It's this. And I said, as you can tell, the style of the tip is very much takes after your Tonto. And that got his attention. He looked up at me, and then he looked back down. And after he was done looking, he set the knife back down, looked at me. I'll say he gave maybe a smile, and then walked away.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, when he's in that mode, I don't know him personally, but I've known a lot of people that have talked to him or worked for him and knew him. And when he is in that mode of looking for anybody infringing on his territory, they said he's not a friendly person. He is very aggressive. And he said if he thinks, that when I told that story to somebody that used to work for him, he's like, he probably thought you were stealing his design, and he was pissed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's probably like, I invented this,
Yeah, he said he probably wasn't happy, so that's why he didn't get a conversation out.
Right.
So other than that, he's the nicest guy in the world, except when you do that. But,
Yeah,
you know,
I've had great experiences with him, but I wouldn't want to cross that guy, or be perceived as crossing him. Professor EDC says, "Hey everyone, Professor, great to see you, sir. Awesome to have Dirk Pinkerton in the show. I always remember the one that got away from me, the Pinkerton Kaiser Nomad. Man, that still is one of my faves."
yeah, that was one of my first designs that I really overthought, but I spent a ton of time trying to make it right. Even though when you look back at it, it's very dated in a lot of the things in how it's laid out and what it does. But I did spend an awful lot of time trying to get the angles right, get the scallops on the handle right, so as not to be too hot in the hand, just enough grip, and all that fun stuff. And it took me forever to design. I still love it. I would love to redo it. I've actually, if we ever get Beyond DDC back, David said that he would seriously consider bringing that back. So hopefully, hopefully we get him back and he gets his situation squared away so he can get back into production. From what I've heard, it's moving in the right direction. So
Awesome. I want to talk about that. Jeff Wright says that's going to be a sweet Christmas present for myself. And please, people, please, I want to get numbers up on this. I want everyone to have a chance to win the Gambit. So put #knife in the comments. Let's see if we can get up to 90 people. We have 76 people. We're going to give this away in a few minutes. I promised Dirk I wouldn't keep him all night, but since you brought up Beyond EDC, I want to talk about the Contact. Also, I mean, the Night Horse, one of my absolute favorite knives, bar none. I love this modern version of the Navaja.
Yeah, I carry that a lot.
But the Contact, what's going on with the Contact? I love this design.
Well, I did a little bit of a redesign to it. Basically, made it just a little bit bigger. So you're looking at a 3.5-inch blade. Handles just a little, fills out your hand just a little bit more, but all the angles are still the same. It will have a thumb disc pocket opener setup. It will have milling on the side of the handle by the pivot, kind of like the Night Horse.
Okay.
So yeah, similar to that. So you can get the foil, the fencer grip if you want to grip the knife and have your thumb. Yeah, exactly. Paintbrush grip, whatever you want to call that.
I like
Saber grip, fencing grip. I don't know the word, the proper term for it. And it's also going to have the height adjustable pocket clip. So it'll have 3 or 4 position mount on the pocket clip. So you can adjust the ride height in the pocket.
Oh, that's cool. You don't see that often at all.
So when I think about using a blade for self-defense, the one thing that has always bugged me to no end is this obsession with burying a pocket knife with a deep carry pocket clip.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you have to do it because you need to be low profile and you have to be low profile. Most of us don't. And it makes more sense to have it in position correctly, to have it, it's like my hands are not big. So when I draw a lot of knives, I pull it out. I have to adjust my hand to get to the thumb stud or the flipper or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just look at it and say, boom, shift it a little bit, make it ride a little higher. As I index the knife, pull it out, everything's in the right place. So, and it doesn't usually take a lot of distance. You don't have to move the clip a lot. So that's why I usually give it on my newer OEMs. You're seeing multiple holes in the side, and that's exactly what it's for. So you can just adjust that pocket clip just a little bit, so you get a little bit different ride height in the pocket, so you can index it a lot easier.
Yeah, I like that too. I mean, it's like if you have to have the knife in your pocket that deep, probably means you can't even have a clip visible in the first place.
Yeah.
And also you end up pinching a lot more when you're drawing it. I do anyway.
Yeah.
I saw that Edgy American mentioned the Kaiser's titanium version of that cleaver knife. Now I'm forgetting what it was, but how that helped the company. Angry Tom's next door says, Bob, your knife collection is pretty epic. Angry Tom, it's beyond epic. And I don't mean that like I'm in a brag way. I mean it in like, it's almost one of those cases where it's like your possessions start to own you. Like I have a lot of knives, and I'm starting to think it's out of control. And then when I think that, I'm like, okay, what could I get rid of? I'm like, well, here, this Rough Rider, I could get rid of this, like not too much. Cody Broadway says the Main Street was my first knife, and I still want a freaking premium version so bad. Ooh, that was your first knife. That's cool, man. That's
that is
a great
cool.
knife.
Yeah, I like how that turned out. I'm really happy with it. And they are coming out with a new lock version of it very soon.
Oh, cool.
It may even be at Blade Show, so you'll see a new version of the Main Street.
So that's gone through. That will be the third lock it's had, right?
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
They haven't done a frame lock version of the large. They've done a frame lock of the small. So I've been trying to convince them to do a frame lock on the large version, and they're not biting on that one yet.
Huh. Ray Herman, can you find the Night Horse out there anymore?
There might be a few left at Smoky Mountain in the titanium in the frame lock, but not in the G10, not in the liner lock version.
The G10 was so ridiculously priced. I couldn't believe it.
So if anybody out there wants to know how much it costs to buy a knife direct from the factory, if you're the OEM and you want to buy that, and you're like me making it or you having a knife made, that is almost the exact price it costs per knife for the company to sell. Yeah. That's what the manufacturer sells it to the buyer for. So I mean, that's how cheap it was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And they did. The only thing I can figure is they were doing it as a loss leader kind of thing. Get you in the door. Here's something really cool. And they said they were going to do it again, and they have not re-upped on that. And I've heard that they've been working on other projects outside of the knife world. They're concentrating on their firearms, gun shop, and all that. And apparently that's where they want to focus their effort and energy. So it's unfortunate because that was really popular. I mean, that liner lock sold out in a heartbeat at what, $30. I mean, I asked them if they would do the same price again. They said, yeah, sure. We do it again. It'll be the same price.
Man. I gave mine to my brother and I regret it. I mean, I don't regret it. It's in the family, but when I got this one, I was like, oh, Vic, you can have this. But man, that knife was amazing.
The good news is though, that Concept comes to the rescue again, and we will have a very similar version at 3.6-inch blade.
Oh,
it will look almost identical.
Oh, sweet.
Few angular changes just to make it a little different, but yeah, they picked that up. They asked for a series of 5 folders, and I sent them 5 designs, and that was one of them, and they said, we'll take it.
Split and Slices asks, Contact XL, perfect, but who will be your OEM since Beyond isn't quite ready?
Well, the people that prototyped it for me is a company called Dream Tech. So they've been an OEM primarily, and they are looking to get into the world of selling under their own label. And we're going to be talking to each other at Blade Show. And part of that conversation will be if I will design for them and if they will OEM for me. And to get an idea of how good their work is, I asked them if they could OEM prototype the larger contact. So they're the ones that are doing the prototype on that. Awesome. So I've seen pictures of it. They seem very interested to work with me, so I'm excited about that. And they actually have some suggestions on how to improve the contact from a manufacturing standpoint. So we're going to have a nice long conversation at Blade Show about it. So I'm very excited about it.
That's cool. Do you have someone to watch your table when you're doing that?
I hope so.
Cool. James Hart says, I'm at the point where I'm looking at my collection of knives and deciding what I can part with. It's not easy. No, it's not. I'm familiar with that. All right, we should give this knife away. Let's do this. Right after I read Craig's comment, he says, I often think the same thing about my collection, Bob. Then I snap out of it and buy another knife and the world is right again. Yes, that sounds about right. Someone was also just saying, I can't remember who now, sorry, that I didn't know I wanted a cold steel designed by Dirk Pinkerton until tonight. All right.
Well, give them a call, guys. Let them know. You can let them know.
Yeah, there's demand. All right, let's do this. This is one last time. This is the Dirk Pinkerton designed Gambit by Shieldin Knives. Beautiful G10 handle, great ergonomics. You've got a upswept cleaver blade with not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 opening holes. Sorry, and a fuller, and a front flipper, which with my thumb I can only do it with my forefinger, but it still works great there. Super sharp. It's thin and slicey. This is my dresser knife. This gets a lot of use. It's always out and about in my bedroom. I absolutely love this knife, and this one is mine, but you will get one fresh in the box. All you got to do in these last few seconds is type #knife in the comments below, and that will get you entered in to win. The one that we are giving away tonight was very generously donated to the channel by Dave of OG Blade Reviews. By the way, 154 cm blade steel, one of my favorite blade steels out there. This is 154 cm and fidgety as the day is long. Alrighty, sir, shall we do this? Why don't you count down from 3?
Alrighty, we'll go 3, 2, 1.
All right. So it's going to stop. It's going to do a little tease thing, and then it'll land on someone. And that someone is Broke AZ Knives. Broke AZ Knives is a man of good luck. All right. All right.
Excellent. Congratulations.
I think I have your address, Broke, but give it to me again. Send me an email at TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, and I will get this out to you. I think tomorrow. I should be able to get it out to you tomorrow. And I have the box over there with the pouch. And if you don't know, Shieldin Knives sends these really nice pouches. I actually end up using them, not for my knives because they have pocket clips. Oh, well, says James. Next time, James. Congrats, says Sean Clark. Kudos, OG Blade Reviews. I end up using the Shieldin pouches for Leatherman. They work great for Leatherman, actually. The big chunky Leathermans. Pardon me. All right, so we will get that out to you. Always fun to give these knives away. So I think I've shown. Let's see. Oh, I did want to ask you about this. Okay, so this is also a Beyond EDC design. People always ask about this, and I've been carrying it a lot. You sent this to me, and I'm very grateful. This was part of your. You threw this into a bundle that I bought from you that you gave me an awesome price on, and an couple of extra knives, and this was one of them. And I love this thing. This is a true Wharncliffe. When people say Wharncliffe, this is what a Wharncliffe looks like. It's a continuous curve from the of the spine down to the tip and a straight edge. Oftentimes we call something like this a Wharncliffe, and it's not. It's a sheep's foot. But anyway, that's just being a little bit pedantic, I guess. But so tell me about this knife, and is there any future for this knife? Because I know this is a Beyond EDC and not in production right now.
Yeah, it's it is gonna hopefully come back. If Beyond EDC makes it back, I'm gonna maintain it with them. Mm-hmm. So the hope is there, and if for some reason Beyond EDC doesn't make it back, then I would like to probably do it under my own name, because I do like that knife a lot. And the funny thing is, it was actually meant to be a smaller knife.
Oh.
So that was a little bit of a mistranslation. My original design, it was going to be a 3-inch blade and much thinner. And apparently somehow the program, the file I sent, when it was translated through their program, ended up to be a bigger knife. So
It's like almost 4 inches, isn't it?
yeah, it's 3
3
7.
Yep. Yep. 3.7 inches. And then you also have this one, which is similar, the Standoff, also a true Wharncliffe, if I'm going to be a nerd about it. And then this one you have released under your own name.
Not yet. It's still prototyped.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm debating is, so this was back before all the great drama. I was looking at doing a very thin liner lock version, kind of like the Main Street. It was going to be a nested liner lock. Do everything premium, just make it a very thin nested liner lock setup. And I was in the process of prototyping that and getting that done when all the drama erupted. And I was trying to decide which would be the better way to go with that design, the nested G10 or the frame lock. So I'm waiting for getting the prototypes on the G10, hopefully get those in about 2 months.
Cool.
And then I'm going to do a little comparison and make a decision on which way to go. And if, depending on whichever way I decide, that one is definitely going to be, the project will get started probably August.
Cool. I love this. This is one of my most carried folders. I love this.
Yeah, I've been carrying my prototype a lot. It fits the hand. That was the whole idea, was kind of a bit of a love letter, if you will, to Michael and his Yojimbo.
Nice.
It's not a copy, but the idea behind his Yojimbo, I know it's very specific to his methodology, but the ergonomics on his design are just phenomenal. And you can grip it in so many different ways. And that's kind of, as I said, a love letter to the Yojimbo. I mean, that's my version of it without copying it. It's basically trying to get the same feel and vibe.
Yeah. And
but not be the same. So,
John Tagamori wants to know what it's called. This is the Standoff, right? This is the Standoff.
Yeah, that's Standoff.
Yeah. James Hart says, "Well, I am off to clean up my kitchen from supper. So
yeah, I still got to do that.
Good show as always." What's that?
I still have to clean up the kitchen as well.
Well, all right. Thank you, man. Have a good night. Craig Vincent says, "Question: Has Dirk ever designed a Dirk? Because if he did Dirks, I'd dig a Dirk."
Somebody's having fun. Yes, I have actually done a Dirk. I did one a very long time ago. And I don't know. It just, I like the idea. It's just always something else has always jumped ahead of it in line to do it again. So one of these days I'll probably do some more Dirks. Don't know if it'll be a full blown, like a naval Dirk or, what it'll end up being, but yeah, I definitely want to get back to it at some point.
John says he needs a Standoff. When can he pre-order that? You said December, maybe?
Shooting for August.
Oh, so shooting for August.
Shooting for August, but it may be later. Again, it'll depend on when I get the new prototypes and once I make that decision.
So where can people go to keep up with you and to do that pre-order and just find out what designs you have working?
So the best place to see me is on Instagram, Pinkerton_knives. And that's usually where I do most of my stuff. And then as far as when pre-order is available, then I usually do that through my website, Pinkerton Knives.
Okay. And Desert Trance wants to know, how about a Smilodon? I'm not exactly sure what he's asking, but if Desert Trance wants to buy one, that's a custom design, right? He would have to get directly in touch with you. And how does that work?
Yeah, just send me an email at Pinkerton Knives or Instagram. You can DM me on Instagram and just we can do that. I need a standoff XL. Funny enough, I'm working on that design.
Yes. I mean, this one's a pretty damn good size. That's a 3.6-inch blade.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll take a large one though. I'll take an XL.
Well, I'm working on 4 1/4.
Oh yes. So so basically, same size as the. This is 4 1/4, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
yeah, it'll be that same size.
Love it. Louis, hi everyone. Hi Louis. Good to have you here, man. Desert Trance says yes with multiple S's. Thank you. Desert Trance, when you get that Smilodon, you got to let us know. John also says yes. So you got to let us know when you get the Smilodon.
And I do have Smilodon blanks. They're MagnaCut. They've been heat treated, so they're just sitting in a bin waiting to be ground.
So you guys, if you have any doubt, which I'm sure you don't, or if you weren't here before, if you order a custom Smilodon, for instance, this is not a Smilodon, this is a cave bear, but this is what you stand to get, these amazing grinds. Dirk's hand grinding is just amazing. These are custom handmade by him. So the Smilodons will be of this like perfect quality. I don't know how else to put it. These things are so awesome. And so are you going to have, I know I'm going to see you at Blade Show. What are you going to have on your table at Blade Show this year?
Many things. A lot of Wharncliffe straight edge designs. A lot of, let's see, I'll have several Warning, several Fire Ants, a couple of new designs I'm playing with in that direction. I'm going to have a large three culprits, which are I like to call it a Mole Ninja version of a Pakal knife, though I've been told it's actually pretty, it's not as Mole Ninja as I think.
Okay.
It was a design that I worked with a customer several years ago. It's a big Pakal knife, but it's actually kind of fun. I'll have 3 of those. I'm going to be posting a picture of them on my Instagram tomorrow. Cool. So people see what's coming. Some newer Pakal designs will be coming with me as well. I'll post those pictures. They're very small blades, 1 1/4, 2-inch blades. So smaller Pakal, very small. Yeah, just a lot of stuff coming.
Awesome. I cannot wait to see your table. Can't wait to see what you've brought. I can't wait to see you yourself and hang out. Dirk, thank you so much for coming on and joining us, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's all of our pleasures. And thanks for these amazing knives that you both design and make by hand. They are inspirational, and I have a teeming sub collection of your work, and I can't wait to see it grow and grow. So thank you, Dirk.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too, man.
All right. There he goes, Dirk Pinkerton. Always good to talk with Dirk. Man, I'm such a fan of his stuff. And we didn't talk about a lot of knives. The one that I got last year that I love so much, thanks for the live appearance, says Byron, is the Kami. I love the Kami, named after the Nepalese kukri makers. You can see the influence in this. Henry Clark is clapping. Also, oh wait, wrong one. Also, this really sweet Persian that was the poster child, literally the poster child of Blade Show last year. The artisan, this one was on all of the artisan posters. So if you were at Blade Show last year, you saw this knife. Oh, there's schmutz on it. 6 feet tall. And these things are just so awesome. Strings says, cool guest. Hope you had a good gig, Strings. And I saw Nipper. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but I loved your avatar. You were eating steak, I think, and he greeted us. It's good to have you here. Scott says, thanks, Bob, Jim, and Dirk, gents. Our pleasure. Always our pleasure. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for all the things. He's a very prolific designer, and he's always working on cool stuff. And everything he does is 1 part utility, maybe 3 parts tactical. I don't know how to put it. I view all of his stuff as pretty tactical, but or defense oriented. But you might look at this and just say that's a great utility knife, and it is. But it's also a great knife for self-defense and stuff. And so I like that he always considers that in all of his designs. Craig Vincent says, Dirk is awesome. Inside every knife enthusiast is a mall ninja just waiting to get out. No kidding. No kidding. Or a matured mall ninja. Terminator Joe says, missed a good chunk on the way home. Still a good show. Well, hey, Terminator Joe, you can check it out tomorrow or whenever you have a chance. And get some insight into Dirk's what Dirk has coming out. Todd Carr says, awesome live tonight. Have a great night, everyone. Todd, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. John, have a great weekend. Also, Todd. John Tagamori says, can you reverse flick the standoff? Yeah, you can. But one of the things that this is a prototype. One of the things that I mentioned, and I think Dave of OG, who also has one of these, couple other people, is that he's going to make the fuller sharper, so it's easier to do. For me, I need to put a little wrist into it and ease up on the lock bar on this prototype. But that's one of the things he's going to change on this. Not too much else, if I recall correctly. It was the sharpness of the fuller for a better middle finger flick, and I think he might add some milling texture somewhere. Doug Bull says, Bob, got a split. Everyone stay safe. Doug, thank you so much, man. Have a wonderful weekend, and stay safe. Mike Link Music says, Thursday Night Knives is absolutely the best show on every week. Thank you, Bob. Mike, I'm flattered and grateful. Thank you. That is awesome. Puts wind in my sails, and I love it. I love it too. I like that other people love this show. So it's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, a June Gentleman Junkie giveaway. That's right. For our top tier of support on Patreon, that is the Gentleman Junkie. We have the Gentleman Junkie, the Tactical Junkie, and the Traditional Junkie. And if you are a Gentleman Junkie, every third Thursday, you're automatically entered to win a knife, and we always choose something special, and we do that on the third Thursday. Now this month it will be June 19th, and so happy to do that, and hope you all are here. And you can go to theknifejunkie.com/Patreon to join. Split and Slices says, thanks for the show. Enjoy Blade Show Atlanta 2025. All who are going. Now I believe we will do this show next Thursday, which will be the eve of my leaving for Blade Show. So it'll be a fun send off. Craig Vincent, oh snap, Bob, when you were away, I finally got my Laredo Bowie 3V. Oh, manage. I love that. I have mine out here, though it's not in 3V, but the Laredo Bowie is just so great. Desert Trance says, Farrell looks and hand a lot like some of my rib splitter knives. Yes. I only have I only have one. I love rib splitter knives. I have the Draug. But yeah, there are several of his Picals that I've wanted over the years, and I see what you're saying. Yeah, this feels so good in hand. Yeah, rib splitter, Pical, love them. Love them. I also like a Rib Splitter's new Chris. He did a Chris a couple of times. That was really sweet. Craig Vincent, Bob, Jim and Junkies, awesome night as always. Thank you, Craig. Have a wonderful evening, sir. I think we're about ready to dip out of here as well. And next show, I will show off some knives I didn't get to tonight. That always happens when we have an awesome guest. Coming up on Sunday, episode 599 of the Knife Junkie podcast is Roger Pearson of Savage Creature Defense Tools. A great guy who makes awesome knives. And Trance, if you like Pical style knives, I'm sure you probably already know of Savage Creature Defense Tools. But we have a great interview, great conversation. He shows off a lot of cool knives. So check it out, the pre-600 episode, $5.99. Come join us then. All right, that just about does it for me. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying thank you. And until next time, don't take dull for an answer.